when we talk especially about natural language processing, which is foundational to generative AI in a lot of ways, it's really concerned with inferring meaning or intent from language. Again, AI doesn't know anything. It just knows essentially numbers and the relationship between those numbers. And so when we say something like, what can I make as a carpenter? Do we mean what can I physically build as a carpenter, or do we mean what can I earn as a carpenter? And of course, we as people talking use our context clues to figure out what that means. And I think similarly, AI needs context to do that. But this goes back to these questions of percentages, right? And when we talk about that, I think we refer to them a lot as like confidence scores, right? And what it's saying is, I'm 90% confident that he means what can he build as a carpenter, and that's of course by context. But from a technical standpoint, and maybe you can talk about this a little bit, there's a lot of smaller confidence scores that go into building up to that ultimate one. That's is like a decision tree, yeah, right?
Exactly. I think technically, I'll make a bolder statement to say, like, the probabilistic system is always better, if you don't worry about the cost, better than the deterministic system. Like, imagine in the carpenter example, like, we deterministically always answer, like, I don't know, $50,000 a year or something. Then you lose the flexibility. Even if later on you learned, like, we're talking about what kind of furniture you're making, then you lose that flexibility. So being able to build a distribution of probabilities is always going to give you the flexibility needed. Then later on, as you mentioned, you can use all the other sort of confidence score to build up, so that if you can tweak the probability distribution. Maybe starting with, I don't really know, randomly, I'm going to answer 50-50. But as I earn more context, as I become more aware of the conversations before, or the attribute that I learn about this particular person, then I can answer this as an AI sort of differently and give you a slightly different probability distribution. And then you can always sort of quote unquote collapse the probabilistic scores into deterministic scores by just giving one of the outcome 100% probability, and then just everything else collapse to zero. And that is always option you have.